And how you doing today out there in Craftland? El-Amin of Elements Design with you today. And while I was doing a little polishing up, I wanted to show just a few things that I make with 12 gauge German silver. 12 gauge German silver wire, when flattened out, especially hammered, gives a huge surface space there. It allows for a tremendous amount of hammering surface area and gives you a really wonderful ability to put some different pings in there. I also use it for my wraps. Okay, now this is not as easy to use as a copper wire, like copper 14 gauge wire, but also 14 gauge copper wire wouldn't be sturdy enough to hold a stone like this. So it's a little tougher to work with. It can be annealed. Okay, so if you're a fan of annealing, you can go ahead and anneal this wire and it will be a lot easier to work. It is not as easy to work with as sterling silver. I love working with sterling silver so much, but the price sometimes, if you're trying to make or experiment even with certain designs, is very expensive to use. This piece here is probably 2 feet of wire, maybe. You know, maybe 24 inches of wire at least to make this wrap around the pendant. So, excuse my hands here, I'm just doing a little clean so they're so dirty. But you can kind of see the different amount of surface area that you can get when you're hammering. You know, the amount of texture that you can achieve from that and the different type of the designs. And so in order to get a really big thick style ring like that, 12 gauge is really the way to go. It's a little more choppy to use, like I said, a little heavier duty. I actually break out my thicker my pliers, and you just have to be a little more careful with it. I do have a couple of how-tos I'm putting together that will be available that will teach you how to use this really easily and in effective ways. And it's something that you just have to really add. The sturdiness is impeccable. This is so sturdy. I mean, this can be pulled out with force, of course, but this is not naturally going to pull out on its own because the wire is too thick. This could never be achieved with a single wire wrap. One wire. This could never be achieved with a 20 gauge, a 22 gauge, or even an 18 gauge. Not even a 14 gauge, really. I wouldn't feel safe if I was selling it to someone, even with the 14 gauge. But on a 12 gauge, it can definitely be achieved. I make a ring style just like this right here, and the 14 gauge is just as beautiful. But some people just love the extra heavy duty feeling of 12 gauge, and it's something that that they're compelled to go ahead and go with. So give it a try. All right, try working with some. Feel free. I think it'll be a good inspiration for you if you haven't used it before. If you have, post up something on YouTube or something. Let me see what you're making. Direct me to your website. Okay, thanks a lot once again. Aaron El-Amin of Elements Design, E-L-A-M-E-N-T-S, Elements Design. And hope I was able to inspire you about something. Let us know if that happened. Get yourself some wire, and let's get crafting.